Okay, so good morning. It's Friday morning, and obviously, I my voice is still a little rough. I'm not gonna hang out for too long this morning, and honestly, I'm tired of the election stuff right now. We'll dig back into it as more things develop with the legal cases and whatnot. But we're gonna take a break from it this morning. We're gonna do a good old fashioned Firearms Friday. This morning, I'm bringing to you a story. This is not a DRT. And it's unfortunate. I would have liked to have seen this guy DRT. But it's an interesting story. And this is one of those where you mess around and find out. This guy found out. What did he find out? Okay. Hey, we're still too big. There we go. That's where you belong. Okay, so this one. Volusia deputies fight over sexual assault. Gesture turns into metal pipe assault. Shots fired. So here's the story. A man who was shot at Monday afternoon by a motorist at a gas station near Daytona Beach disrespected the shooter's wife and got into a fight with him, says the county deputies. The motorist had stopped at the Chevron gas station at 3624 West International Speedway Boulevard near the Volusia County Branch Jail with his family. Daryl Shamblin, 43, approached the man and his family in their van, started making sexual gestures toward the motorist's wife. The man then got into an argument with Shamblin. Okay, Cameron says I'm too quiet. Let me see if I can fix that a bit. There, that should be better. Part of it is I'm struggling with my voice. Part of it is I got a new headset, and it didn't occur to me until right when I was starting the show that that means that I have to change change settings because new gear. So, to be clear, this is the exact same set of headphones that I've been wearing for 3 years, I think. But as you may have noticed, the other ones, I was waiting for these to drop in price. They're usually about between $150 and $200, and suddenly there was a price drop to $100 on them. I said, "Yep, we'll do that." So, and if anybody's interested, I'll drop a link in the description to this set of headphones. They're fantastic, wireless headphones. They've got a microphone on them. We get our actual audio for the show from the Blue Snowball, and anyway. I needed to replace the other ones because over the several years of putting them on and taking them off, the sides had broken here. So like one side was literally slices of soup can and duct tape holding it together, and then the other side was I had a heavy duty paper clip on there holding it together. They were patched together and just barely holding out. now that I've got the working pair, the noise cancellation is much better. So, this story in particular struck me as interesting. Steve Rodemeyer is watching. I remember once, about 20 years ago, Steve and I were in Little Five Points, downtown Atlanta. And it's this Little Five Points is this bizarre, eclectic little area where there's a shitload of homeless people and drugs, but there's also some fantastic little niche restaurants and a bunch of like spiritualist shops and head shops and fortune tellers, pagan community type of stuff. Interesting literature, interesting little niche bookstores, and I'd be lying if I said the place wasn't just chock full of bums and weirdos. And so we're walking down the street. It was me and Steve and his wife, and a couple of our other friends. Probably. Oh yeah, Krista says tattoo. Lots of tattoo parlors and piercing. It's like a miniature Columbus, Georgia. Just ink and hookers everywhere you look. So we're down there, and like we're just walking around. We're doing a little window shopping. Buying some little odds and ends, and talking to interesting people. Just making a day out of it. And this bum comes up on us, demands money, and we just kind of ignore him because it's one of those. It's like being anywhere in Little 5 Points is like anywhere in Seattle, Washington, or San Francisco. You cannot give money to the bums, and it's not because this is completely separate from the problems I have with the fallacy of altruism or the charade of charity. You can't give money to the bums in places like this because they're like piranha or sharks. As soon as you hand $1 to one of them, you'll get swarmed, and you didn't bring enough cash to fend off the horde. They smell that blood in the water, right? That's what predators do. So, contrary to popular belief, bums are not like scavengers. No, they're predators. Welfare addicts, those are parasites, but bums are predators. And so we just kind of ignored him when he comes up and demands money. And now we get to relate back to this story. He made a pass at Steve's wife, whose name I have been very careful not to mention. By the way, Steve. Steve's name I will use because he comes on the show and uses his name when he does. But anyway, dude makes a pass at Steve's wife. He didn't grab at her or anything. He made a lewd comment. And Steve snapped around on him, and it was, buddy, I was proud of my boy, because Steve popped around on this dude. It says, you keep running your fucking mouth, and the only place you're getting laid around here is on a slab. And he backed right up. It was a solid turn. Like, I had a moment there that I thought, okay, I'm about to have to do something. But nope. Steve popped up and defended his wife very gallantly, and I am still very proud of having witnessed that with my brother there. And so that's kind of what happened here. The difference here is the bad guy walked away and then came back. Daryl Shamblin, 43, approached the man and his family in their van and started making sexual gestures toward the motorist's wife. It's non-specific to what the gestures are. It doesn't matter. Come and make a pass at my wife in front of me. Let's see how that works out for you. I don't make threats. They waste time. And if I'm perfectly honest, I think Steve has progressed in his position on this as well. I suspect that if the same thing were to happen that happened to us at Little 5 Points that day, if the same thing were to happen today, I don't think Steve would make a glib comment that effectively diffused the situation. We have learned over time that that's not the right course of action. And this is why. I think if the same thing were to happen again today, Steve would have just laid him out. And Steve can throw a punch. I mean, Steve's a rough and tough dude. He'll throw a punch in your shoulder and it'll rattle somebody's teeth. Somebody's teeth. So The man then got into an argument with Shamblin, investigators say. Shamblin left, but returned with a metal pipe and hit the man. I don't like the sentence here because as we get a little further, he hit him in the face with a metal pipe. I guarantee you get to do that one time before I'm pulling the trigger. If you get to do it, you get to do it once. The victim got out and fired his gun at Shamblin, but did not hit him. This disappoints me. This disappoints me, guys. I don't think that this unnamed motorist was trying to fire a warning shot. For the way it's described here, it sounds like he took the shot and missed. It's time to go back to the range, sunshine. It's time to go. It's time to go and adjust that judicious marksmanship. We appreciate judicious marksmanship. Hit what you're aiming at. Please, please, please. It's not just that we want bad guys dead. It's that when you don't hit what you're aiming at, you run the risk of getting good guys dead. Judicious marksmanship. Kill the bad guy. No warning shots. Hit what you aim at. Slow draw. Steady aim. Smooth trigger squeeze. Nice and easy. The victim got out and fired a shot but did not hit him. Shamblin then ran away, prompting a search by patrol deputies, a K-9 unit, SWAT team members, and a sheriff's helicopter. Now, I will confess that sounds like a bit of overkill in this particular situation. But hey, if you're going to waste my tax money on something, better this than, a Democrat not being put in jail. If you're going to waste my tax money on a Democrat, waste it putting this Democrat in jail. Because, seriously, you attacked a grown man in the parking lot of a gas station with a pipe, and as we're about to learn, you already have a criminal record. Dollars to donuts, Democrat. Because the moral foundation on which this man votes, if he does, is that the use of force to deprive someone else of property is morally preferable to doing work. That's their baseline. Never forget it. On Monday, deputies who responded to the shooting called and said Shamblin struck the victim in the face. Shamblin was found at his home at 1389 4th Street, not too far from where he attacked the motorist, deputies said. It is pertinent information, and if I'm being perfectly fair, perfectly honest, this guy has forfeited his right to live by assaulting someone else. It's still maybe a little more doxy than I would prefer. It's not technically doxing because we are talking about a convicted criminal, so his home of record is a matter of public record. I'm still not entirely comfortable with that. Shamblin was arrested and charged with burglary, with assault or battery, and violation of his probation. So he was on probation. I don't know if he was on probation for a felony. It doesn't say whether or not he's a felon. I would say that it says court records show Shamblin pleaded no contest in June to aggravated battery on a person 65 years or older and placed on probation for 3 years. In December, Shamblin attacked his father because his father discarded a beer. The father got rid of Shamblin's beer because he was on probation at the time, also, and was not allowed to consume alcohol, reports state. So this also says to me that somehow this guy was on probation, assaulted his father, to a sufficient degree that it qualified as aggravated battery. And even though he assaulted someone while already on probation, and the facts of the case show that he was already in violation of probation by consuming alcohol against the rules of that probation, the state's answer to that was more probation? We need more death penalty. Like I talked about a little bit yesterday, there is no crime which is not a degree of murder. Any crime that is legitimately a crime. Now, there are crimes on the books there are laws on the books which describe things as crimes, which criminalize activities which should not be criminalized because they do not amount to a degree of murder. Okay? But embezzlement, that is taking from someone their livelihood. Theft, burglary, right? These are situations where you are taking from someone a piece of their lives. You are murdering them by degree. Now, we can offer forgiveness in cases like that if the murder can be undone. If the damage can be undone, right? If you can return the property, then you can atone. Right? If you can unembezzle, if you can put all the money back where it belongs, and restore the lost interest on that money. Okay. If you can make the victim whole, as long as you can unmurder them, then that option should be made available so that you can atone and shift fire and become a better person. If you can't unmurder the victim, you should die. It's not a question of punishment. Punishment is doing push-ups because you got your name tape on backwards. You learn. Punishment is when I would send a private to clean the air vents with Q-tips for 12 hours. Well, he'd stop being late to formation. You know, except for Mario. Mario, he'd just go clean more vents. It's his thing. Punishment is a small degree of pain which is associated with a bad activity and corrects that bad behavior. I don't believe in corporal punishment. I don't believe in, corporal punishment, push-ups, that kind of stuff. I don't believe in the death penalty. It's not a penalty. It's a precaution. It's not a preemptive strike. It's a precaution. Dead rapists don't rape people, dead terrorists don't murder people, and dead murderers don't murder people, and dead terrorists don't blow up fucking buildings. It's that simple. Dead bad guys don't do bad shit. But we have people in this country who are opposed to the death penalty. Now, I can understand being opposed to the death penalty for specific applications, but people who oppose the death penalty on moral grounds would prefer that you take your serial rapists and serial murderers and repeat terrorists and just make them a ward of the state for the next 50 years. It's very expensive. In fairness, and I hadn't intended to get off on this topic, but anyway, in fairness, the application of the death penalty is also quite expensive. But that's only because we have a broken and bizarre appeals process that gives the criminal chance after chance after chance. Now, I demand concrete evidence irrefutable, incontrovertible proof that someone is guilty of the death penalty crime of which they are convicted before the death penalty be applied. Absolutely. But, Steve, you almost beat me to the punch on that one. But, once it's incontrovertibly true, if I have videotape of you running up on a person in a red hat and screaming, "Hey, we've got a Trumper here," and then murdering him in the side of the face with your pistol, this is a precautionary measure. It's not that I want you to learn not to murder anymore. It's that you don't get to be around to do it again. This guy, the motorist that got hit in the face, his father that got beaten, they'll heal. They haven't lost anything substantial. That's a rabbit hole I'm going to avoid. But I think the question needs to be asked, how many recoverable murders do we tolerate before we stop tolerating the murderer? Well, that got a little heavier and went a little longer than I intended it to. Guys, it's Friday morning. It's the weekend. I know everybody's kind of still on edge about the whole election thing. There's some chicanery. There's some madness going on. It's frustrating. And, well, it is what it is. We'll see what happens. We here we'll be diving into it and trying to figure out what's going on there as we move forward a bit. But for now, I think I'm going to go ahead and call it. Oh, Lindsay just showed up. Love you, Lindsay. You just missed us. Go back and watch the replay. And we will see y'all. Yeah, Cameron says something odd just happened. You're suddenly very, very quiet again. I just noticed that the meters dropped off, and nothing changed here. So I don't know what the hell just happened. It's live is hard mode, but here's I'll try to push it up a little louder because Jesus. So here's your safety brief. Don't fry bacon. Don't drive drink. Don't fry bacon naked. Sex, drugs, rock and roll. Sex, drugs, rock and roll. Automobiles and videotape. No two at the same time. Y'all be safe out there, and I'll see you Monday morning. We might do a surprise pop-up this weekend. It's going to depend on how this goes. But we'll see you Monday morning. Hey, Uncle Steve, thanks for joining us. Sorry you just missed the show. Go back and watch the replay. This one might not be the one. I may have dropped an F-bomb or two. We're talking about a guy attacking somebody with a pipe and the death penalty. I get a little in my passions about that topic. But y'all be safe out there. Love you. See you Monday.